Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Film Snobbery Live. I am your host, Nic Baisley, and as you can see, we're good over here. We had some tornadoes in the area yesterday, and the house did not get picked up. We did not go to Oz or any other cool places. However, our guests for the evening, or at least one of the two, did get to go to a cool place this recently. Our guest John Trigonis actually went over to the Cannes Film Festival, and we're also going to talk with his director of photography, Alain Aguilar, and we're going to talk about their movie collectively, CERISE. I've actually had the pleasure of screening CERISE myself over at our one of our screening series, and it was a really good time. I'm really excited to talk to these guys again. They both got endless stories to chat about, so I wanted to just say welcome to them. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and very quickly we're going to play for you they've got a promo video for an upcoming event that they've got going on over at the Staten Island Film Festival. We've actually covered the Staten Island Film Festival for the past 2 years, and it's a great little festival. It was over at it held mostly at the College of Staten Island over in New York, and last year. This year they've got some different locations, but it's a really nice fest. They kind of keep it small, keep it tight, and it's cool. But what we want to show you obviously this little promo video for CERISE over at the Staten Island Film Festival. So we're going to show you that right now. When we come back, we're going to chat with director John Trigonis and director of photography Alain Aguilar. We'll be right back, and stick around. Whatever backfeed I'm getting here.
Hi, I'm David Arkema.
And I'm Alain Aguilar.
And I'm John Trigonis. And we are the team that brought you CERISE, a short film about a former spelling bee champion who's haunted by the word that took him down. Now, if this sounds like something you'd like to see, you can do so at this year's Staten Island Film Festival. It's happening on Thursday, June 9th, 10 p.m. And right here I have the cinematographer and the lead actor with me, and I'm, of course, the writer and director. And together, we've been nominated for 3 awards: Best Cinematography, Best Short, Best Actor. How cool is that? It's pretty cool. In a moment, you're going to check out the trailer of the film, so you can help along your decision to see the actual movie. And after that, you can check out our pages, and like our pages on Facebook, and check out our websites, AlainAguilar.com, JohnTrigonis.com, DavidArkema.com. And also, of course, CERISEmovie.com. Hope to see you at Staten Island on Thursday night. If you're there, you'll get a cool sticker if you say hi to any one of us. I'll talk to you then.
Like L-A-C-K-L-U-S-T-E-R. Your life's not traveling very far. Somehow we're only slightly brighter than a dying star.
Ladies and gentlemen, the director of CERISE, John Trigonis, and director of photography, Alain Aguilar. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey, Nick. Hey, everyone.
Hey, Nick. It's everyone. Hey, guys, how you doing? I'm glad to be able to chat with you guys again. It's been too long, even though we just saw each other in February, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, good time. So let's start with John. You just got back from Cannes, and you had some experiences there. I want to hear about them. What is that like, besides being very French?
Yeah, well, it definitely was French, whatever that means, and that means a lot of things.
It does.
It was a crazy experience. I actually wrote a blog post about specifically the short film corner. And for those of you who may not know, CERISE, I registered CERISE for the short film corner, which is a segment of Cannes, and they basically where you kind of go and you promote your film amidst, I think, about 1,900 others, and you try to get people to view it in these little viewing booths in a digital film library that they have set up for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was a good experience. I mean, it was definitely not what I was expecting. So I had, the first day it was a little bit difficult because we get there and there's like a gigantic wall of poster art and postcards jumping out at you, and I'm just like, oh my God.
In terms of
Yeah,
I was going to say, in terms of other film festivals you've been to, what is the in terms of scale? I mean, just how big does that festival seem?
Oh, it's ridiculously huge. I mean, it's the biggest festival in the world as far as I'm concerned. It's the biggest festival that I've ever been to. But in terms of like, you know, I mean, if I compare it to like, let's say Staten Island or any of the festivals we've already been at, it's definitely very different, especially for the fact that we didn't really have a screening, you know, in terms of the short films. It was more like you kind of go and you check out these little, you know, you pick these films. And hopefully, you know, you watch something good or something not so good, and it's kind of a toss-up, but there's no actual screening. So if I did make a comparison, I mean, it's a great festival, but it's more for the business of it. It's really, if you have a film that you want to sell, and by film I do mean feature. There's a lot of lengthists out in the world, I guess, who like don't really care for the short film form.
I've always been a fan that it's not the size, not the size that counts, right?
Totally.
And that in film and other things.
Yeah.
So John, what's the you went there. You spoke a little bit about how it's more geared towards the business of film. Did you take time to do some business while you were there?
No, it was the business that I thought I was going to be doing was basically promoting CERISE, and we did get a good amount of people to watch the film by doing some kind of interesting marketing techniques that we didn't really see a lot of the other short filmmakers there doing. Like we gave out cherries, along with our cards, just to kind of stand out a bit. So yeah, I mean, in terms of that, that was the business. If I would have done a little bit more research, I probably would have been like, hell, I'm gonna take my 2 features with me, and or more my 2 feature scripts, and try to hook up a meeting and maybe pitch the thing somewhere. But I didn't think too much about that because I had so many other things kind of going on. Plus, I didn't buy a tux, and that was a big problem. That's why we couldn't get into any movies.
Yes. Yeah. Well, most filmmakers, that is something that they lack is formal wear. But all right. So you're out there, you're gallivanting around amongst the Parisians, and then you have our good buddy Alain Aguilar, your director of photography for CERISE. He's hanging back here, holding down the fort. Alain, now first, I guess one of the things to ask about is how did you get involved with John on CERISE?
All right, thank you, Nick. And first of all, I want to say thank you for having me on the show. It's my first time. I also want to say that I admire what you do for the film community. You're giving us a voice, and I'm thrilled to be on the show. So thank you, first of all.
You're making my whole head blush, and believe me, with this bald head, it's really easy to see.
It's my first time, so I'm really blushing here, even though I have a little cup of wine here to help me. But well, John and I met many years ago, and we've been working in making films basically for about 10 years now. We go back a little bit. We started back in the days when I purchased my first Canon camera, XL1, which I understand you probably own one, or someone that I know well. Yeah,
our old director. It was one of the first cameras we shot FilmSnobbery on. When we first started, when we did what we called FilmSnobbery Classic, we started on a Sony Handycam, and then we moved up to the XL1, and then from the XL1 now we have we've shot on a couple different cameras, but mostly the HV30, HV40, and then also we've shot with Jerry's XHA1. So we're pretty much, with the exception of that first Sony Handycam, we're all about Canon.
There you go. Well, that's great, and that's how we basically started making our first films. I don't know, we've done maybe 5 or 7. I can't remember now, but CERISE, of course, is the last
7.
7, right? So yeah, so CERISE is the last one, and we I always been a stickler, a sucker for the film look, and as you know, in the late 90s and early 2000s, for filmmakers like such as ourselves, the big thing was to get that film look.
Right.
And we try to use. We thought about using this camera, X camera, for this, and in the end, what I discovered, what I realized, that you don't get that cinematic look by just getting using a camera, a good camera. You can use a super 35mm camera you're not necessarily going to get that.
No, it has more to do with, what, lenses as well? I mean, there's the camera, but also the lenses make a big difference as well, don't they?
Difference, but a lot of it, you know what? Because on some of the films that we shot prior to CERISE, we used the super speed size lenses, and we used a 35 millimeter adapters, the Leaders, or I used a mini 35.
Mm-hmm.
And but I was still not happy with the results. I still couldn't get that film look. And, you know, after a lot of research and studying and things like that, you know, we sort of mature a little bit on that area and realize that you're not going to get that look by just using a particular camera. It's more about composition and the visual story and putting, and the camera has to follow the same cues that an actor has to follow, the same beats within the scene. So with CERISE and John, we had this discussion before the film, where we actually did some, put a lot of thinking into it. How can we make CERISE look like a film with a $5,000 camera? And of course, we snapped in some adapters and lenses and all that. But at the end, that's the result was basically a film look, which I consider the closest thing to a film look with the equipment we had. So, and John, what I liked about working with John is the fact that he is very open and available to listen to you know, the geeky part of the team, which is me, when it comes to like equipment and things like that. And we you know, the budget went up a little bit because, you know, we discussed using the red one, and maybe, well, the red was going to be too much money. So then we decided on the Sony EX1 camera. And with the whole setup there, it was a gigantic setup we ended up with.
And what, I mean, do you have a preference of shooting either? I mean, shooting either with a regular, like a Sony EX1, or say like a DSLR, like a you know, a Canon 5D Mark II or 7D or something like that?
If it was up to me, Nick, I will shoot with an iPhone. Honestly, after putting the setup together. And there's a picture of John and I with the camera in the back. I'm wearing that orange shirt. The camera was gigantic. It took like 2 people to move it around, and it was fine. I mean, at the moment, I liked it. Oh, the big, you know, the big camera, whatever. But now it's more of a. I think the industry is going towards that direction where things are going to get more compact. So I'm leaning towards using smaller devices. You know, I just don't picture a painter using like a 50-pound brush to make a painting. You need to have something small that you can move around.
Right.
And if you're gonna have a big setup like that, then it's fine too. But you just need to have the crew and the people to help you accomplish your goals. You know. But
Gotcha.
That was basically our dilemma at the time. Now I'm leaning towards the DSLRs. That's what I use now. I use the Canon 5D, and I love it. You
Nice.
know?
Now, and going back to John for a second. Now, John, you know, obviously you're the man behind all of the equipment and all the cast, the crew, the whole 9 yards, kind of steering the ship, as it were, and getting this all done. Is there anything that you would have done differently in terms of how you filmed it or how you've gotten it out there so far? I mean, you've had a fairly successful run. I mean, once you go to a FilmSnobbery screening series, there's really no need to go anywhere else. But are you have you had an opportunity to kind of reflect a little bit as you've been traveling around, saying like, oh, you know, I got all these eyes on this movie now, and I really wish we had, you know, done this scene differently, or we done something else differently?
You know, Nick, I definitely had a lot of time to reflect on it, and when the movie was first done, I kind of had a lot of issues with some scenes, some shots even, and the more I look at it, the more I watch it, you know, it is what it is, and it's something that I'm very, very proud of, and all this. I mean, I always tell Alan this too. I mean, a couple of times there were a few shots that I just really had a problem with when we were shooting them, specifically the one scene, I can't give it away, but the one scene that's like the pivotal moment in the midpoint. And I really, when I finished shooting it, I hated the way it looked. And Alan was like patting me on the back, telling me like, it looks great, trust me. And I'm like, bullshit, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a DP, you don't know. And I'm like, I look back at it, a day later, and I'm like, damn, that scene does look okay. And then when I edit it together, it's like my favorite scene. So there's a lot that, that I know if I look too deep into it, I'm always going to find the problems with it. So I don't look too deep into it anymore. It's just, I have something that when I watch it, I'm like, wow, this is cool. And I can actually show my family.
Nice.
This is great. And that's for now. Yeah.
Now I have another question for you, and it's actually not my question, it's a question from the audience. Our friend Michelle over, Mojave Musing here on in the chat room says, John, if I sponsor the fee for the Calgary International Film Fest, will you submit? And just as if anyone here is wondering exactly what that kind of means, aside from the fact that she'll pay for your submission fee, that's one of the kind of cool things that you guys have been doing, is you've been utilizing platforms like Indiegogo and stuff to sponsor your submission fees to get to these various film festivals that you guys have submitted to. And how have you guys been successful with that?
Yes, we have, and Michelle, definitely, heck yeah, we'll talk. But we, of course, we did raise money on Indiegogo to make the film a little bit better. I raised $10,000 on my own, and then I raised another. And when I say raise, I mean teaching, a lot of classes and saving for a year.
Yep.
And then I went on Indiegogo and raised the additional $6,300, and of course it went over budget, but that's what credit cards are for, right? And then lately we've been doing from our website, Sponsor Your Festival, what I call crusades, because I'm all like history professor and stuff, where you basically become a film festival crusader, and you sponsor a festival like Woodstock. I know a friend of mine, Brendan Fogel, sponsored our submission to Woodstock and another fest, and a whole bunch of people have been sponsoring us to just get the film out there, because it's expensive. And so far we've got about 4 acceptances, the Short Film Corner, and there's about 60 other festivals that we've submitted to so far.
Wow.
And the one thing that I know, I'm not much of a business person, but the one thing I do know, like everybody probably knows, is it's a numbers game when you're submitting poetry or film or anything. It's partly about talent, but really, the more you submit to, the more chances you have to get those acceptances and hopefully get a few wins and some nominations, if not wins.
Yes, and speaking of nominations, that kind of is a nice segue to both of you. I want to say congratulations, because you guys have, as you've stated in the promo video we played earlier, you guys at the Staten Island Film Festival you have a bevy of nominations for awards. And Alan, do you remember which ones it is, so we can tell the audience one more time?
Yeah, I believe we have the best short category. We have the best acting category for David Arkema. And we got the cinematography for yours truly here.
That's right. That's why I figured I'd ask you, because I'm like, give the man a moment to shine.
Oh gosh.
Most movies are all about the director. Let's let the DP have a little moment there, a little spotlight on him. And I want to say congratulations to you guys, and it couldn't happen at a better festival too. I mean, they're a great fest. Like I said, we've covered them for a couple of years, and they've always been very friendly. And also it's going to be very close for you guys, because you guys are both out of New York City, or New York and New Jersey-ish. Well, let's just say New York. We'll leave it at that. And actually, so I mean, in terms of projects and stuff, I mean, do you guys tend to run into a lot of, did you guys end up working a lot or doing anything with other filmmakers around you? Because I know that New York is obviously a giant hotbed for indie filmmaking. So do you guys kind of get involved with a lot of other the indie scene, as it were, down there?
Well,
I guess, yeah. I was going to say, Alan, why don't you go first?
Well, in my case, since I've been nominated, I've been getting all these jobs offers later. I can't decline them fast enough, Nick.
Oh, yeah, you gotta ride those coattails all the way, sir.
Yeah, I've been getting calls from all the way from China. No, I'm just kidding. But basically, well, myself, living in the city is basically, even though I used to live right across the river and kind of in the same area where John lives. Now I'm in the city, of course, and I've been keeping myself pretty busy shooting. I'm directing a web episode now, a web series, sorry, and Yeah, things like that are popping all the time. It's a very busy town.
Can you give you want to go ahead and give the web series a plug?
It's called The Pack. It's for a good friend. It's actually a common friend of Trigonis and I. His name is John Trigonis, and the web series should be out in a few months, I believe. I'm a guest director, but I ended up shooting the last 4 episodes of it. He asked me to shoot one, and he liked what I did, so I'm directing the other 3 now. So, but that's yeah, and there's a lot of photography stuff happening. You know, I'm working with another good friend, Ruben. He's probably on the chat, I think he is, and Ruben Rodas, and just keeping myself busy like that. You know, I love this world of visual arts, and I'll get myself involved in all aspects of it. It doesn't have to. Cinematography is only one aspect that makes up this whole thing. You know, and all filmmakers know that, and that's why most of us are into writing, into directing, and cinematography, because it's just a beautiful art. And if you're gonna be, if you can grab a camera and shoot something, you can pretty much do anything else. You know, if you have that artistic side of you, you know, always, you know, alive. So that's my case. Yeah.
And how about you, John? I mean, I know that obviously you're a very prolific and busy professor, but obviously you take time out to throw together cool movies as well that people like to see and go to prestigious film festivals and whatnot. I mean, do you have time to kind of mingle and socialize in the indie scene out in your area too?
Yeah, I mean, not really, no, not at all, actually. I spend a lot of time just kind of writing my own stuff and trying to just find the money and the extra time to make it outside of the teaching and all that good stuff. But yes, I'm not as in the scene as Al's getting. You know, Al gets a lot of, you know, as he said, a lot of experience and a lot of contacts, where I'm just kind of like trying to focus on the writing to start from that point to work my way into you know, making films that are a little bit easier to make. And
you know, I will say, guys, that's what I love about John. John is one of the most artsy fartsy fucking people I've ever met, and I love it because he's just like, it's about the writing, it's about the art. And you know, even when he was just like, I'm like, you were a kid, you were in the film market, did you get some business? He's like, nah, it really wasn't so much about the business for me. I was just like, that's just so John. And I love it. I'm loving it. And I will say, though, and I'll say this to all the other people out there who have been previous guests or will possibly be future guests. I will say that behind every good man is a good woman. And just give her a quick shout out in Marinelle. A quick shout out. She's in the chat room as well. You guys can check her out on Twitter at Marinelle. She was actually the one to actually go ahead and get John, get me all of John and Alan's information, got their pictures, got the clip to play, all that kind of stuff. Just to let everyone else know out there, that's the right way to do it. And not only that, you know, they've collectively been tweeting and getting the messages and stuff out there, which I obviously greatly appreciate. And that is something that is often missing, the promotional aspect, and not just of this show, but in film in general. It can be tough, and I'm sure that you saw a lot of things when John, when you were in Cannes, you know, doing your promotion for your movie, and I know that just in general, it's such an all-consuming thing, and for an artist like you, see, I'm bringing it back. For an artist like you, I'm sure that is probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's got to be one of the more harrowing experiences for you in terms of making movies. It's like, I made this great piece of art, and now, shit, I have to go ahead and I actually now have to get people to see it. Is that kind of true? Do you kind of tend to like to focus more on the making it part versus the promoting it?
yeah, I mean that's exactly it. I really don't. I'm trying my best to like the business part and to at least appreciate it a bit more. And I'm very lucky to have Marinelle by my side. I didn't have to worry about anything for tonight, which was really nice because I was running around and going crazy with a few other things that were happening in my life. Nothing bad, but crazy.
Sure, no, it's life. It's how it is.
She just takes care of it.
Yep.
But you know, I mean, it's like you guys know, I'm a poet first and foremost, and you know, every poet that I like is always a person who's about art and never really considers marketing or promotion or business until they're dead and somebody else makes them famous. And it's something that I've tried to kick the habit of, but like a bad case of alcoholism. It just doesn't want to go.
Now, John,
But
as
I'm okay with it.
as an auteur and as a you know, an artist, you're at, you know, one of the most artsy fartsy friggin' places in the world. You're in Cannes, and you're in, you know, France in general. One of the you know, one of the questions is that a lot of people, there was speculation, a lot of there wasn't a lot of American movies being played at Cannes this year, and that, you know, a lot of people felt that Americans were getting shunned a lot, and then you see Terrence Malick, who goes and wins the Palme d'Or. And did you get to, first of all, I guess the question, John, for you is, did you get to have any celebrity run-ins while you were there? And B, how does you know, you talk about someone who is an artist who only puts out a small set of films, you know, over periods of time, and is very particular about how he makes movies. How does that affect you as an artist? John?
Yeah, here, sorry, little computer glitch there, but, no, yeah, I mean, we did have a couple of, I mean, we were at a party where, what's his name, Ryan Gosling was sitting in back of us, so, I mean, I didn't say hi to him or anything, because I really don't like his movies, so I figured, you know, you have nothing nice to say, but then we also, yeah, no, it's kind of messed up, but then we also met on the train ride, a guy named Philippe Lesourd, who, you know, he's talking to us, and him and his wife are talking to us about directing and cinematography, and then it turns out on the return trip, he's telling us that he's Wong Kar-wai's DP, and he's worked with Bertolucci, and the guy's the most humble guy in the world, and you'd never know by looking at him that he was this major guy who's shot most of the films that I like, because I'm a big foreign film guy, and that was it. I was hoping to buy Sean Penn a drink at the bar, but that didn't happen. Yeah.
Hey, John, tell him your drunk experience with that DP. You got drunk with him, right?
Oh, yeah, no, that kind of. I mean, it's not the tricking. I mean, he was already drunk.
I'm very interested now. You've completely just renewed my interest in that story.
I mean, yeah, that was the extent of it. He just kind of started telling us about all these people that he worked with. But he was very, very humble, especially at the beginning. But then when we saw him the second time on the train ride back to our hotel, he was kind of a little bit more open, and he was like, yeah, I shot Bertolucci's films. I've done this. It was cool, you know. It was like, nice.
Nice. And we do have another quick question.
Yeah, I mean, and
No, it's no, I was going to say, go ahead. I can ask. We got a question from the audience, but I can ask it again in a moment. It was relevant to you were saying you were taking the train, and some Lord Bronco was saying that what was the worst thing about your Cannes commute?
It was expensive because for the money that we could have for the money that we spent on the train ride back and forth for 5 days, we probably could have afforded a hotel in Cannes, and instead of staying in the ghettos of Nice, the good ghettos. It was like not the ghetto, but it was like outside of Nice, and the taxi drivers kind of told us not to go out after midnight. So we were kind of a little bit worried about going to major parties or anything like that, and then having to come home to, you know, not sure where we're going.
Sadly, you were probably still.
We were thinking about, like, wow, it was like 12. Sure.
No, I was going to say, sadly, you were probably still staying in a better. You're probably still staying in a better place than I was over at the Austin Film Festival. It was a little on the raggedy side where I was as well. So I hear you, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, did you get to go to any parties at all? Was there any? What was that?
I said, as long as you can get to the festival, that's the important part.
Oh, exactly. Now, did you go to any parties at all? I mean, you know, kind of official or otherwise? I mean, I know that there's more of a, say, formal attire type of situation that goes on most of those, but were you able to go to any of the, like, unofficial parties or anything like that? Or, did, you know, anything that anyone, like, individuals just kind of put together?
Well, I mean, not so much individuals, but like the American Pavilion, we went to 2 parties there. One I think the Raffi got us into, and another Marino had an invitation to get into, so that was kind of neat. And, you know, free food, free wine. We did see I can't remember his name because I'm so bad with things, but the director of Short Bus and Hedwig and the Angry Inch was spinning records at one of the parties, so that was kind of neat. You know, he had a cool mohawk and stuff, which I've always wanted. And, you know, so that was kind of cool. And that's where we saw Ryan Gosling just chilling out. But, yeah, we didn't, you know, outside of those two parties, we kind of just, we hung out in the short film corner in the basement there and just watched some cool movies, some cool shorts, and missed most of the big movies because, like I said before, we didn't have a tux and we didn't. And then the second day screenings were, for all the movies we wanted to see, were at like 10 in the morning. So we were like, yeah, we're probably not going to make that.
We have we do have another quick question here from the audience. It's actually from someone I've not seen in the audience before. It's Love Doc Cheyenne, or Cheyenne, I don't know how to pronounce it. And said, has anybody ever disliked CERISE outspokenly? Like, I guess, have you had any detractors? Aside from Alan, of course. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. You know, I don't think so. I mean, I've had some critiques of, you know, good critiques like from some of the, you know, the actors. But other than that, I mean, nobody's ever kind of said anything bad to my face. And I like to think that they would say it to my face if they did not, you know, if they disliked any part of it, because I'm open to that stuff. I want to know. I mean, I don't just want to, you know, hear about, oh, that movie was great. You know, I want to hear about the other stuff, because the next movies I make, I want it to be better. And if I'm doing something a little bit not so good, you know, according to the consensus of people, I'm all for it. Let me know it. But so far, everybody seems to like it. I do get an interesting thing. I thought you know, I think sometimes I made a drama, and then sometimes people laugh. But originally, I was trying for a comedy, but then realized it was more of a drama. So I'm kind of like, what genre is it? And I really wish film festivals had that dramedy genre choice, because that would be like the perfect genre for CERISE.
Yeah, but then you and Jerry would be in every film festival together. Because that's...
Not so bad.
No, because Jerry, that would just mean that you're actually doing something. Love you, Jerry. But I want to thank you guys for taking the time out to chat with us tonight. I mean, we had I know that the audience has been very engaged tonight in the chat room, and I know that you guys are incredibly busy, you know, prepping, I'm sure, for the Staten Island Film Festival. Are you doing any type of special promotion for while you're there? I mean, it's a lot more local to you guys. I mean, not like right around the corner, but you know, a riverboat or two. Are you guys doing any special promotion for that, John?
Yeah, well, we're definitely we're taking the lessons that we learned from Cannes about being to be a little bit more prepared for every festival experience. So we're having a few you know, with the nominations and everything. I mean, we're really proud of that, and it's more than I could ever have hoped for. We're really trying to push that and promote the fact of the nominations to get people to check the film out and hopefully you know, hopefully see it, and you know, if we win something, that'd be awesome. If not, I'm telling you, it's just an amazing, you know, just those nominations are just an amazing way to tell me that, hey, you're doing something cool, keep it up, and that says a lot. So, but we are making some special promotional material. One of our producers, Cameron Romero, he actually mentioned that if we can get him a cherry suit, he may walk around in a gigantic cherry suit.
Yeah, I'm surprised you wouldn't hire Jerry for something like that. He's got experience.
You know, we should actually. Hey, Jerry. Without laughing.
Well, if Jerry's laughing, that's a yes.
Yeah, true.
I actually just unmuted myself, so that wasn't me laughing. But
Jerry,
walking around in a foam suit and telling people about movies. Jerry
Cavallero will humiliate himself for fun and profit.
Yes.
But I want to thank you guys again for coming on the show. I want to thank Marinelle, of course, for just getting everything set up and making it easy for you guys to just sit back, relax, and talk about CERISE and talk about your experiences. And Alan, of course, talking about the web series that you're going to be working on. Give it one more plug. What's the name of the web series so everyone can kind of keep a lookout for it?
It's called The Pack. I should be posting more about it when the writer and producer feels ready for it, and
okay.
I'll be putting more information in Facebook and Twitter about it.
Excellent.
Nick, I just want to take another moment to make another plug.
Sure.
Well, it's basically regarding the nomination. I don't know if I'm going to go up there and say thank you. You know, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going up against like features, but it might happen. If it doesn't happen, I just want to say thank you to Pamela. She's my wife.
Wow.
She's actually Sherry BR on the Shaft. Sherry BR. And I want to say thank you to her because she supported me and gave me a lot of love and patience during the shoot. She actually was one of my test models for when I picked up the camera the night before. I shot her and the cats. And a cat we had, and basically I was able to see if the picture quality was going to be good or bad. And I actually discovered that if I didn't switch up, and I discovered this after watching her footage, if I didn't switch a knob on the camera, I would have recorded the first few hours of CERISE with a bunch of like camera information on the picture. And because I shot her and the cat, I was able to basically realize that I better shut that off, otherwise John is going to be pissed. So I want to say thank you. She's Cherry DR, my wife Pamela, and I love her very much.
See, wow, that is a gentleman who knows how to keep the women happy. See, typical of Mr. Alain Aguilar. So I want to thank him as well for not a problem. I want to thank you for taking the time to come on the show. And John, do you have anything else to talk about in terms of CERISE, where it's going to be next? Obviously, next weekend is the Staten Island Film Festival. Any other plans after that, or any other projects you're going to be working on after CERISE?
Yeah, we're still waiting to hear from some other festivals, but as of right now, we've got Staten Island. It's my third time being there. It'll be my the fourth project that I've been associated with there, so that's pretty cool. I love Staten Island Film Fest, and it's happening on Thursday, June 9th, 10 p.m. So hopefully, all you New Yorkers out there and New Jerseyers. Hopefully you can swing out there and check it out. Maybe we can get together beforehand or after. I'm hoping to do something with some people who check out the film there. But yeah, we're just waiting to see what festivals are going to be next. And and if you want to find out more about those screenings when they happen, you can always check out CERISEmovie.com. Good stuff.
I knew we were going to pull that one out at some point. If you weren't going to mention it, that was my next go-ahead. And you, of course,
I tell you, I was about to forget, and then Marinelle was like whispering in my ear, like, .com. Which, really quickly, I just want to thank Marinelle again for, I feel like Alan gave this unbelievable thing to Pam there. But, Marinelle is more than just a marketing person to me. She's my girlfriend, my love. So she really gives a lot to this whole endeavor and to me. So truthfully, I would just be some like starving artist on the sidewalk writing poems for very little money, if any, to try to eat. I'd probably do it for a sandwich, to be quite honest.
That's when you know you're in the right business.
Yeah, before Marinelle, I had to take the place of Marinelle, and that wasn't working. So now Marinelle is...
They could not be filled, brother.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I wanted to also say that you can follow both John and Alan on Twitter. They're respectively, John is at Trigonis, so twitter.com/Trigonis, his last name. And you can follow Alan over at twitter.com/DP Alain, or A-L-A-I-N.
Yes.
So see, there we go, I got it. And of course, you guys could follow Marinelle as well, because she's on Twitter as well. So she's twitter.com/Marinelle. And if you guys don't know her by now, then you're obviously not in the right place. That being said, I want to thank those guys out there. I love you guys, but I do want to see other filmmakers. Let's keep it professional. Get the freck out of here. No, I'm kidding. You guys, thank you very much for stopping by. You guys are very, very good people to support us, and we're happy to support you, and in turn, and good luck with what happens with CERISE and your next projects.
Thanks, Nick, and thanks for having us here. This was awesome.
Anytime,
Thank
guys.
you, Nick. Thank you.
So, again, ladies and gentlemen, that was director John Trigonis and director of photography Alain Aguilar, and they're awesome, awesome people. So we're going to now, I'm going to take a quick break because I've been talking a lot, and because that's kind of what I do on a show, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just take a quick break for our one of our sponsors, our partners over at Indie Pix Unlimited. And when we get back, and by the way, check these guys out because they got tons of cool stuff going on. The actual promo will tell you most of what you need to know. If you want to know more, you can click on the link. It's actually below the chat room. Again, it's indiepixunlimited.com. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about our Indiegogo project of the week. So stick around. And we're back, and we actually got this week's Indiegogo Project of the Week. It was actually submitted to us from our friend Mojave Musing in the chat room, and she's also obviously on Twitter, which is where we heard it from. And the particular project that we're going to talk about today is, I don't have a graphic for them, like we usually do, or it's actually over on this side. We don't have the graphic for them over here because they didn't have one, but they do have a little video about the festival. It's actually the Sheffield Doc Fest. Doc Fest, it's their it's called their crowdfunding pitch 2011, and what it is, and the reason why I picked it, not only because it was suggested by a great supporter of ours that I'm a big fan of myself, but I picked it because it was a really kind of interesting thing. Like, I've seen a lot of film festivals over a period of time try to crowdfund different things, like whether it's funds for advertising and marketing and stuff like that, or whether it's for the festival itself or whatever. This one is actually really interesting because what they did was they picked, I think it's 5 or 6 movies. And what they did with 5 projects, they picked 5 projects, and what they're going to do is they're going to basically, at the festival, hold kind of a pitch fest, as opposed to what we do, which is a bitch fest. And what they're going to do is they're going to they're looking to raise $3,200. And what they're going to do with that money is they're actually going to take, I think they made it $3,200 because once you cut out Indiegogo and all the other fees and stuff like that, which aren't that bad, to be honest with you, I think you're left with a solid $3,000. And what they're going to do is they're going to pick, in like a contest type of situation, they're going to take the $3,000 and they're going to give it to a project, which I think is phenomenal. You know, as far as I know, nothing is going towards the festival itself, but towards this contest, which sounds, basically what they're funding is the cash prize, and I think that is a really smart idea. I would actually do that myself. I think that that's cool. Like, if we could raise, like, as a community, raise $5,000 and find a project to give it to, and just be like, here's your $5,000. I actually have thought of doing that before, but I never would have thought it would have worked, just based upon, you know, what I've seen out there. But apparently I was wrong. It does happen. But what I do want to show you guys is I want to go ahead and I want to show you it's not a pitch video per se, but what is their promo video for their film festival. And I was listening to it and watching it before the show, and I was like, it's kind of a cool video, so I think you guys will dig it. It's only a couple minutes long, so what we'll do is when we come back, we're just gonna have a little bit of discussion with our good friend Jerry Cavallero, catch up on the week, and see exactly what what we have in store for us next week, and go from there. So, but first, just check out the Sheffield Doc Fest. You can actually check them out online as well. I believe it's cheffilmfest.com. And we'll go from there. Oh, and by the way, we we do have a contest tonight. So everyone who's still in the chat room, we got a contest. Actually, before we let's see, how do I want to do this? See, this goes to show you show prep. I'm going to show this video, then I'm going to come back and we'll do the contest. So we'll be right back. Stick around. And we're back. I didn't realize how short that thing actually was. I thought it was a couple minutes long. For some reason, my brain thought it was longer. That being said, though, we do have some stuff to talk about. We have a contest brought to you by our good friend and co-host, Jerry Cavallero. So, Jerry, what's the contest for this week brought to you by our good friends at the First Glance Film Festival that is actually I think their late deadline, or they're without a box deadline, is still June 14th. So it's coming up, so make sure you guys submit. Jerry, what's the contest?
It's a Twitter contest. So the first person to copy what I'm about to post in the chat room and tweet it out, whoever tweets it out, I guess we're giving one away, right? One Movie Maker magazine subscription?
We're gonna.
Person?
Yep, that's right, yeah. 1 year free subscription for Movie Maker magazine. Great magazine.
Yes. They like to feature really cool people in their articles, like yours truly.
And yours truly. We both now have officially had, FilmSnobbery as a family now has had an article on each of us.
Yes.
Yes.
Good for us.
I know, really? Just gonna pat myself on the back on that.
Just pat yourself on the back, not even talk about the contest.
Yeah. So what's the contest, sir?
I'm posting it right now in the chat. First person to retweet what I'm posting there. Nick, why don't you do the honors of reading this one?
Why don't I do the honors of reading this one? All right. So Get Stuck says, that twit pic of a wiener is actually FilmSnobbery's. First Glance Film better give me a subscription to Movie Maker Mag to look at instead. And you're referring to the twit pic from that Congressman Wiener that has been circulating around the net.
Congressman, for me at least. Which now our news is calling Wienergate.
Wienergate.
And they are non-stop doing the double entendres, which are pretty terrible.
Yep.
And it's funny though because I think they're getting past the writers of the news are actually putting it in there, and the anchors aren't noticing that they're jokes. So there's been quite a few in the news, but it's non-stop, and I just don't want to hear it anymore.
By the way, Jerry, speaking of jokes, I think it would be prudent to know, because I know that you haven't had your new internet connection put in, so you're not watching the show, I'm guessing. So normally I have a picture up of you.
Yeah.
Okay. This time I have a picture up of Aquaman on a seahorse.
Nice.
I thought you did.
The Aquaman of indie film.
That he is. That's Jerry Cavallero, the Aquaman of indie film. All right. I'll put it back. I'll put it back to your actual pic. There you go. So look at that. Look at that handsome devil.
You put up Aquaman again?
No.
I think you should just take a picture, take my face and put it on the Aquaman body of that picture. And then I'll put that as my Facebook profile.
Only if I could find a picture of like Aquaman giving the thumbs up and putting your face on that, I would do that.
And then we'll put the Stuck Like Chuck name tag on him.
Indeed. Yes. Hello, my name is Stuck Like Chuck, and nobody cares. Okay.
Wow. Thanks for hurting my feelings.
Dude, you have feelings left to hurt, really, at this point? Haven't we all said it all about each other?
I'm immune.
You're immune? Nice.
Yeah, well, maybe it's because I don't pay attention to it, say. We have a winner, if you'd like to.
I would, although Ron Purdy also said that Jerry, I think this should work both ways, for both you and I. Jerry says you should be one of the Wonder Twins. Okay. So what we should do at this point, if I'm reading into this correctly, is that we each should be one of the Wonder Twins, and then didn't they have like a monkey?
I don't remember, but I just want to say we no longer have a winner now.
We no longer have a winner now?
It was Ron Purdy, but now no. You just screwed yourself, Ron.
Oh, I think we need to cut Ron a break on that one because
Okay.
Ron's had a rough week. So let's.
I'm joking. He's the winner.
Yes, and that would be Ron Purdy of the Social Media Massacre fame, which you can go and check out his new website over at www. I think it's actually the socialmediamassacre.wordpress.com, or it might just be the socialmediamassacre.com. I don't know if he's done the forwarding of the domain yet. So do it.
Look up Social Media Massacre. You'll find it.
And Rainey says, "Leave poor Ron alone." Don't you know at this point, guys? That's what we do here. We take our brethren and we.
Snobs.
Yes. Film snob. Everyone's always telling me, you need to be meaner. You're always so nice to everybody. And then as soon as I'm like, I jokingly say, like, oh, yeah, that guy. They're like, oh, why are you being so mean? Stop it. I don't know. I can't win. Although I do get picked on all the time for picking on Jerry. And they're like, you just don't understand how Jerry and I's relationship works, do you? It's a very give-and-take relationship. I give it to him, he takes it like a bitch.
Okay, now let's just say, let's clarify that it's insults that he gives to me. Okay.
I don't know, Jerry. Don't deny our time in Orlando together. You know,
when you crashed in my room.
Jerry, I will say, you know, the room that the festival didn't pay for.
Oh, that got straightened out.
Okay. Good. Now that being said. That being said, Jerry, I actually thought that you would really appreciate some news that I found out today. Apparently, the President of the United States declared that June was Gay, Lesbian, and Transgender Month, and it's like Pride Month. And so I thought that, immediately when I heard that, I was like, Jerry's going to be psyched about this.
Yes, because I have a lot of gay friends.
Good call. See, I love how we just picked up and ran with it. As a matter of fact, it's Jerry is let's call him a friend of Dorothy, as they say. No, he's not.
That's just hurtful to the community of actual gay people that have to stay in the closet, and they face these torture and this bullying, and you're just making jokes all willy-nilly.
Wow, nice try, Jerry.
Not working.
Nice try, Jerry, to turn that audience against me on that one.
I know. I was really trying to get people pissed off, be like, "Wow, Nick is so mean."
Not at all. Anyone who knows me otherwise.
And then everyone was just like, "Isn't Nick gay?"
Honestly, it's been a little dateless recently. I got to tell you, Jerry, you look more and more like a woman the more your man tits grow.
Okay, this is getting really awkward now. Let's do another contest.
Let's do another contest.
I don't really know where to go with this. This is you just made it worse. This was a good show up until 5 minutes ago.
I know. Marinelle asked if we still had the picture of her holding up all the swag that she's won from FilmSnobbery. I know I have it somewhere. I just don't have it at the ready. But yeah. Marinelle's been one of our big winners. Who's a big winner tonight? Ron's the big winner tonight. And who else is the big winner tonight? I would say everyone who's in our chat room is a big winner tonight, just because they got to witness.
Well, not if they're in the chat room right now, but if they were in the chat room before for the good part of the show, then they were the winner.
That is true.
If they're still watching, you're a loser.
Oh, Jerry, that's harsh.
Well, just because they're watching us right now, and this is not helping anybody.
Not at all. No. If you're hoping this part of the show is going to help you in your career, absolutely not. This part of the show is me and Jerry finally connecting after a week because we've both been busy with things and finally getting a chance to just kind of shoot the shit. It's kind of Smodcast, but very poorly done. Yes. Although I would do it.
The drugs.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Although I think we need to start. I would do a Smodcast type show with Jerry every week. I totally would if anyone was interested.
I would like to do that. That would be fun. Although. Well, they really don't. We would just talk about anything, right? Because we wouldn't have to make it just film.
No, that's correct.
Smodcast is about anything.
Right.
So that would be an interesting show.
Although the problem,
Smodcast,
the big difference between Smodcast and us is that they have an audience and we have like an audience of millions. We have an audience of hundreds.
But our audience is loyal and awesome and caring, and we can actually call them up and bring them onto the Smodcast. They don't do.
That is true. Well, no, I don't know if you've listened to the new Smodcast Internet Radio.
Smith, but I don't listen to any of their Smodcasts.
Oh, dude, they've got guests that blow away what a lot of other shows have in terms of like just kind of like behind the scenes people and stuff like that. Like I was listening today on one of his, it was Plus One Per Diem, which is Kevin's show he does with his wife, Jennifer, and they had on the head writer, one of the executive producers for Vampire Diaries, and who just they happen to be friends with. And so that's basically what like all their shows are. It's just like, let's just bring on all our friends that we've met over the years and like.
It wasn't Kevin Williamson.
No,
I noticed he was tweeting Kevin Smith, and I saw him and Kevin Smith's name on the same tweet, and that was like really a geekgasm for me. I was like, that's awesome because I'm a huge fan of Scream.
Yeah.
And then I was like, they probably know each other. And now that probably confirms that. And
the funny part is that Kevin Williamson is writing partners with the chick that I was just mentioning, so it does all tie in. But why are we going to talk about Smodcast and their...
We've started our Smodcast early.
Yeah,
more of this show.
Yeah, if you would like to see more of me and Jerry fumbling around facts, we can, for hours on end, send in your emails to nick@filmsnobbery.com. Also, I do have one announcement. We are hiring both paid and unpaid positions. The unpaid ones are obviously film reviewers. If you guys have always fancied yourself a film reviewer and you want to review some independent films for Film Snobbery, go to filmsnobbery.com/jobs and you can apply to be a film reviewer there. We just send in, fill in your information, send in a writing sample, and boom, we'll get back to you and see whether or not you're our type and see if you'll fit in good with the family. But there are some benefits. I mean, that reviewers are non-paid, but there are some benefits. Obviously, things like press passes to film festivals, and if we get festival swag or swag from other companies and stuff like that, we like to divvy stuff out occasionally. And whatnot. So there's that, non-monetary compensation. Now, the one job that we are hiring for that is paying, and I am looking for someone fairly experienced, but if I think you're a good fit for what we do, I'd still consider it. We actually are looking for a sales and marketing manager. And this is a position where you can actually make some money. Now, I've been in sales for many years. In various types of positions. I've done marketing and stuff like that, obviously, for Film Snobbery the entire 3 years that we've been around. And the one thing that I've noticed is that with the rest of the stuff that I do for Film Snobbery, I'm out of time. So what I'm looking for is someone to help me do various things like getting new sponsors, both product sponsors and monetary sponsors, selling ad space, selling even me, basically acting as a booking agent for me for speaking gigs, film festivals, etc., and kind of acting as a go-between between myself and a lot of our vendors. Now, that being said, that it is a straight commission job, so there's no salary, but there is straight commission, and the commission is fairly generous in terms of, it's kind of a tiered system, and you will make some dough. It's the kind of commission structure I wish I had when I was in sales. So that should tell you a little something. It's an online position, so I mean you don't have to be located in our headquartered area over here in Massachusetts. So basically you just report to me on a weekly basis, and we go over what needs to be done and make sure that for what we have out there in our business plan, basically our goals are being met, and that's kind of the businessy aspect of what needs to happen. Obviously. It's a position for someone who's definitely hungry for work, wants to work in the entertainment industry, what we're doing, as well as people who are we're looking for someone who's good good at talking to people, good at getting things done. So you could also apply for that job over at filmsnobbery.com/jobs, and I look forward to obviously getting as many resumes as possible so we can go ahead and start interviewing people and getting that position filled. So that's it. Jerry, what do you think about that? Huh? We're growing. We're getting staff.
Cool. Well, I just wanted to say that Phil Holbrook, our good friend Phil on Tilt, he might be interested in it. He wants to know if the commission is 95%.
No, the commission is not 95%, but it will top out on the higher end. It tops out around 50, so 50-50 split. The lowest end it goes to is 30. So your chances of, if you bring in $1,000 client, you're 30% of $1,000, you already made yourself $300 right there. If you get something that's a $10,000 client, you're going to make some bucks. So the idea is we're looking to work with people who have a little bit of experience with this, and that can, like I said, just get things done. We're looking for product sponsors. We're looking for, to do product placement, stuff like that. We're looking for people to book me for various functions and things. We're looking for people to bring in ad revenue. We're looking for people to bring in, just straight cash for services rendered, as it were, depending on what it is we do. And, obviously, when whoever submits, that's a discussion that we can have then. But no, the commission rates are generous. No, not 95%. We do. The idea is that once we start bringing in money, then we can start doing some of the things that we've wanted to do for a long time, like pay people eventually, even out of that. And also upgrade equipment, pay for things, like getting to different events and things to cover things. And quite frankly, also because this is what I do for a living, living also means doing things like pay the rent and, car payments, insurance, other mundane shit that a lot of people don't sometimes think of. I have to sustain my own lifestyle, so that's just also what has to happen is, Film Snobbery needs to make money, I need to make money so I can live and continue to do this as a job going forward.
So where you live is Film Snobbery headquarters?
Film Snobbery headquarters is in Oxford, Massachusetts currently. Currently, being that we're also looking for, we're currently in the process of looking for a new studio. And have been for a while.
Good luck.
Why thank you, Jerry.
I didn't, I thought you were going to follow up or something with that or something, but okay. Yeah,
why? What were you hoping I was going to follow up with?
No, I don't know. I was, just the way you said it, you're like, we're currently looking for a new studio. And it just stopped,
Well, I was going to say, if anyone has any studio space they want to give us.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking you were going to say, it could be your garage.
That's awesome. That was really funny, Jerry. Thank you for making me laugh like that. And, yeah. That being said, everyone, we're out of time for this week, but I want to obviously...
Before we end it, Nick, I just want to bring up, remember I wrote something, the first time you've been bothering me for 3 years to write something for this site?
Oh, shit, yeah. Well, I didn't think I had to make a federal fucking case out of it, but sure.
Well, I thought maybe we can, talk about that, since that's a milestone for us at Film Snobbery. I actually wrote something. For you. I mean, I write all the time.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jerry, I've read many articles by you for other people, just nothing for me until this week. Yeah, Jerry actually posted an article in regards to screenwriting contest submissions and talking about, what those kind of are. Go ahead, Jerry, you describe it. You wrote it.
Okay. Well, I'm posting a link in the chat right now. Basically, the final draft screenwriting competition, the deadline was yesterday. So this was the past weekend, I really got into looking off other script contests, seeing if it was worth it, what people's experience with the contests have been. And what I found was really shocking. A lot of the contests, the grand prize was $100, and you had to spend $60 to submit, and then the runner-up got $25, and I'm like, that's really the prize? If you're considered the second best screenwriter out of 10,000 out of 5,000 submissions, you get half your money back. It was just really surprising. That's not final draft, by the way. That's some of the other festivals. Final Draft seems to be one of the better ones. Final Draft and the Austin Film Festival were the two I ended up submitting to. But
Yeah,
I was really kind of surprised about, like, from all these competitions, and a lot of people just say it's not worth it. Even if you win a lot of these smaller ones, you don't make any connections. You don't really, it doesn't really do much. And unlike a film where you could put the laurel on your DVD case and it looks good, when you're submitting your script to a studio or a producer, you don't put laurels on your script cover saying my script it was runner-up at this festival.
As a matter of fact, I learned an interesting lesson recently while I was consulting for a couple of people who were creating a pilot for a television show, and the interesting part of that was that television episodes don't have cover pages. Don't ask me why. Going through the various things that I saw, I was like, that's got to be wrong, and I'm like, yeah, no, it isn't.
Wait, no, what do you mean, like?
TV
like the title and then under it the title of the episode and stuff?
No, cover page well, yeah, but like a cover page like the same way that a feature script does or a short script, like a film script.
Well, because I have scripts from TV shows, like actual produced on-air TV shows, and they have cover pages.
Well, did you get them? Like, did you buy them? Did you was it part of a?
Like I got them from set.
Okay, well, wait a minute. Set is different from what I'm talking about. You're looking at shooting script. I'm talking about something completely different. In terms of printed out shooting scripts, like that's something different. I'm talking about like using Final Draft and using their script generator and looking at what previous scripts for like The Office and 24 and stuff like that, different TV shows and stuff like that. You look at their example scripts for television shows versus feature films. And generally, the television shows don't have cover pages.
Okay, that's just weird because I wrote a sitcom pilot for a contest a couple of weeks ago. I converted my script to a sitcom, and I looked at a bunch of scripts like for formatting because it's very different the format for it. And all of the scripts I looked at had a cover page, but I can see how some shows might not have it. I don't know. That's kind of seemed weird.
Yeah.
But okay.
All right. Well, anyways, I want everyone. Jerry did put the link for his article over in the chat room here, or you can just go to FilmSnobbery.com. It's actually in our blog category up at the top, so you can go check it out there.
One looks no.
Right.
We're hiding it.
Yeah, well, I always do.
Jerry, it's a good article. Very good. I'm going to put it over here on the fridge.
Oh, totally. It's way up high. That being said, you can go check it out, FilmSnobbery.com. Of course, every week you can check us out here every Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at FilmSnobberyLive.com. You can also check us out Twitter, twitter.com/FilmSnobbery, and Facebook.com/FilmSnobbery. So you can keep up. We post all of the, every time we release a new review, it's posted on all of those sites and all that kind of fun stuff. The archive for this show should be up in the next couple days. Depending on how much time I have to get it up there. And that's about it. So I want to thank everyone. I want to thank a bunch of people who are in the chat room right now. I want to thank Jerry, of course, D. Bullis, Ron Purdy, Mojave Musing, First Glance Film, The Social Mapper, Phil on Tilt, who stopped by tonight. I'm very happy to see him. Rainy Cat Trigonis, Cherry BR, Mary Nell, and DP Elaine, which is our, basically three guests and one of their wives, or wives, right? Girlfriend, wife, right?
Who are you talking about?
Alan's girlfriend. That's his wife, right?
When she's in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
You do not pay attention to what our guests talk.
I did not know she was in the chat.
Yeah.
Is she Cherry VR?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Kilikazi, which is our good friend Anthony Kilburn. So I want to thank everyone who showed up tonight. We've got another great show next week lined up for you. Hopefully we'll get a chance to tease out the guest and everything more next week as we get more information. And we'll go ahead and that'll be the show for this evening. So thank you very much for watching Film Snobbery Live. Check us out again next week. Good night, everyone.
Bye.